en route. Beautiful Waukegan. About to get the first good look at the lake. Let's see how it's looking today. There it is. Not too bad today. Not a lot of wind. Looks beautiful, I think. About to pull up to Larson Marine. Got my beautiful bunch of slop in the back, as you can see. Got my McMuffins ready to go to eat. Give me some nice nourishment for a nice hard day's work in the cold. It's actually not that bad today. As you can see, it's only 42 degrees, not bad. All right, so it's been a good day of sawing, and I finally got, I think, the frame pretty much done here. So, kind of see a rough outline of what it's gonna be like. Back here, you can kind of see what it's gonna be like, about standing head height. As curved on the top as I would have hoped. However, I think that's okay. All right, I got the foam up here. This is from our guys at Fiberglass. They got a great bunch of fiberglass products. I do like the Total Boat resin, but I buy all the rest of my stuff from them. This stuff is expensive, so let's get it open and see how much I gotta get. All right, so this is called Diviny Cell. It's I think some kind of vinyl foam, but closed cell, so be submerged in water forever, never get any damage. It's the same thing I've got this bimini made out of. The bimini is made out of 1 inch. I'm gonna try to get away with just using 1/2 inch, we'll see. But anyways, I'm gonna put this on the frame and start getting it going. See how much of it I have to use. Okay, well, I am at the boat today to deliver that wind turbine, but I'm also here because I was a little worried about the squareness of this thing, and Captain Cat said, hell no, that this looks too much like a Pizza Hut. And I think she's right. So what I'm gonna do is lower the outside edge a few inches, which will give the whole thing a bit more curve, which will look more nice. All right, working on trimming it up. This looks way better. Working on trimming it up. This looks way better. Look at this left side, or port side versus starboard. So, the more curved, the better. I'm using my nice little handsaw here to just kind of trim all the edges up, and then I'll lay on the foam and start seeing how it looks. All right, day number 4 or 5, I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to check the tapes. Anyways, it's a beautiful day in Waukegan. It is windy as hell. And the boats are making one bunch of noise, that's for sure. But that's all right. It's a beautiful day, December 8th, and it's 49 degrees outside. Woohoo! I expect that temperature to rise to 50 degrees because today, or sorry, to 55 degrees because today we're gonna do some glass. Ooh, listen to those boats. So, I got my trunk full of slop here, and what I've got is lots of fiberglass resin, lots of fiberglass 1708 and chop strand mat, my mask and all my materials right here, and I'm gonna keep it in the car and heat it until I'm ready to go. But let's go look at the frame, see how it is. Cover update still looks to be doing pretty good. Looks to be doing pretty good. I've not lost too many of my noodles. Give her a look-see. violent. Yeah, look at this. It's gonna look sick. Might as well call it a dog house at this point. I don't think it's like no longer a bimini. All right. Honestly, this is gonna cause a problem. Not quite sure how I'm gonna fix this. So, unfortunately, the wind is causing some problems. So, I'm going to have to, if I want to get any of this done today, I'm going to have to trim this piece off because it's just getting beat up by the tarp. I didn't really want to do this originally. This is definitely too much of an overhang. I'd rather have too much than too short. But we're gonna make a choice here. We're gonna cut it. We're gonna cut it off 7 inches, and should still be just fine. All right. I've got my mask on because it's poisonous in here as hell. But I got it all trimmed up on the side, so it's not getting as impacted by the cover anymore. But I'm still annoying with the wind, so I'm gonna call it a day. I got 48 ounces, liquid ounces of resin on there and the whole thing, so it should stiffen up by next week. Oh man, a lot sure has changed in less than 2 weeks here, huh? We had a blizzard. So now this is actually pretty warm. You can see the temperature's 9 degrees, but that's actually pretty warm. So I'm back at the boatyard today. Got a few things to do, dust off the cover. Let's see how it goes. Oh. Very chilly. So, although it's miserably cold today, soon it won't be. And I've got a ton of work to do still. I've got can change in a few days. We went from blizzard conditions to this being a snowy parking lot to it's pretty nice out now. 40 degrees, and I've got a lot of work to do before glassing next week. Forecast is looking at 50, so I'm doing some glass work next week. Cover's still doing good. Everything's still doing good. Lots of work today.
All right, it's another beautiful day in Waukegan. I can't believe it's February and it's 55 degrees today. Fantastic. So I'm a little sick, which is a bummer, but I couldn't pass up today. 55 degrees means, well, okay, almost 55 degrees, but it means I can be doing some filler and some glass work today finally. So I got to keep trudging along here. I'm running out of time. So what's a car seat bear? What's a car seat bear doing here? Get that away from all the dust. Anyways, I am gonna fill all the gaps today in the foam, which is a lot of work, but I gotta start somewhere. I'm gonna be using polyester because I'm using polyester resin structural putty. So this is basically a bunch of resin with a bunch of glass fibers and cabosil and things in there to give it structural rigidity. So it should do a real good job filling in the big voids, and I'm gonna smooth it all out with a spreader, and that's what my plan is today. It should be fun. It's very windy today, but a nice day. Going to do a few things. I was hoping to glass the roof, but I honestly think it's too windy for that. Yesterday I did a rough fill. This worked out real well too. To get this corner, I just put some of the filler in there and it'll come off the plastic. Oh god, I'm gonna trip and kill myself. Give you a look at the front here. Looking pretty good. I do have it way more overhung over there than here, so they do big trim or add or something. I don't know, I'll figure that out later. Today, try to get these kind of screws out, get it clamped or something, and maybe lay out some glass for the roof. So unfortunately, the tarp on this side's all right. It doesn't really hit, but the tarp on this side will hit if the wind blows real good. That's what these holes are from, it hitting the screws. I don't really want to glass and then have it smacking it. We'll see how the day goes. Same thing on this side. Now I'm gonna add some support. I'm gonna do a little rib here, pretty big size rib, 8-inch rib here, and slope it down, give it a nice little bit of support, and it'll also keep water, you know, coming this way. Hopefully it'll drip down here for the most part. That's my goal, down here, kind of go off and go down. Just cutting it close enough. I mean, one of the big reasons we're doing this is even with our everything enclosed that we had before, it's just really hard to get it watertight. So hopefully this will help. All right. Very long day, but I made some good progress. I've got pretty much all the pieces on for the window frames, so pretty much ready to glue it all on and fill next time I'm here. Man, it just takes so long going up and down, I'll tell you what, but I'm ready to fill the remaining spots, and then it's time to glass the roof. Maybe next week sometime will be a nice day to do that. And then then it's ready to come home, I think. The goal is to get it to come home. I may have to take the entire frame with it. Oh man, look at that sun coming down. Long day. I've been here since 8 in the morning. It is now 5 o'clock, and I'm gonna get my stuff packed up and go home. But I did want to show you I got a whole lot of projects done today. I got the entire roof glassed, baby. That's right. And the entire top of the roof is now glass. Smells like absolute cancer in here, but that's all right. Look at that bad boy. All right, beautiful day. Who would think it's February in Chicago? But 60-degree day, so I was this is my second day of
fiberglassing pretty much 8 hours. It's crazy. But I'll give you a look at what's the progress so far. It's almost time to take it off. In fact, this weekend, Captain Cat and I are gonna come up and take it off. So it's all pretty cleaned up. It's all glassed on the outside. Now, I'm hoping it stays together because this is pretty loose. I mean, this worked out really well, but it's pretty loose. See, it flops around. I'm worried that I'll have some problems when I take it off, but I just measured the distance it's supposed to be on the outside, and I'll clamp it together when I glass it home, and it'll be just fine. But this worked out really well. Very solid. Corners turned out very nice. The radius was easy. A couple air bubbles here and there, but that's okay. It was really, this was a big pain in the butt. The entire front was hugely difficult. It's looking pretty good. I hope. I'm gonna take measurements of the windows, I guess, since I'm here. All right. It snowed. Can you believe that? March and it snowed. Anyways, had rent a U-Haul today because today is the day we're taking this thing off. And it looks great, let me tell you what. I'll get up here and show you. Alright, so I got part of the cover off. Here it is, baby. Looks great. There's the top. Let's get a view from the front. Boom. Beautiful. Can't be stood on. Whew. Great. I'm gonna drill holes and get it ready to go. Yeah, off enough. All right, it's coming off. I've got it separated. I forgot to take out a bunch of screws. It's all right. But I got it separated. I got 2 holes drilled for the rope. Halyard is on there good enough I had to crank it. So let's get it off. Look at that bad boy. Look at that bad boy. Beautiful. It's off the boat. I only broke each one of my bottom pieces, but that's all right. They'll be all right. This bad boy. It's awesome. Crazy, man. All right, I got it home. It's in the slop shop. Now I can get to work. Look at that underside. The core stayed together just fine. When we were carrying it out, my wife was like, oh no, we cracked it. Nope, this is that one I filled. It's going great. The filler, doing it on the boat and made the filler get this corner nice and smooth enough. I mean, I gotta smooth it out obviously, but the whole thing's looking really good. My little chamfers worked great, so these ribs here are nice, straight looking. And so one thing I was worried about is it's pretty flexible, so the legs, you know, move in and out. So I measured, it needs to be 99 inches from outside wall to outside wall. So that's what this strap is for. The strap is kind of holding it together, which is great. So 100 or 99 inches to outside, and then 80 inches inside to inside. I don't know, there's no way to measure a square. I'm hoping this was strong enough to make it. I did break out these middle pieces. That's what I'm doing today, is I have to glass them back in. But yeah, time to sand and get to work doing that, and then keep glassing. I'll get it cleaned up and show you what it looks like. All right, so I got it off the boat and everything like that. I think I covered that, so hopefully I'm not talking twice here. And what I did recently is I just added PVC pipe. Fiberglass sticks real well to PVC, so I added a PVC pipe to give it a nice rounded smooth edge on the top there. And then on the sides, I haven't covered this one in glass yet, but I did on this side. Got a few air bubbles in it, unfortunately. It was dark over here, I couldn't see, so I gotta deal with those, but otherwise it's looking real good. I've got the whole underside glassed. On the Dodger, I learned, or sorry, this is the Dodger. On the Bimini, I learned a very important lesson about running wires, and you really want them in conduit. So it won't look as nice as having everything flush, but I did add some PVC pipes here as conduit for wires. So I'll add glass over top of those, and then I will 3D print some custom covers to cover them up. I didn't want to do the rounded, you know, have the conduit rounded. It's just hard to route wires through stuff that's rounded. So should cover most all the bases here, and we're good. Getting ready to do more glass today, and then I'll do another little update. All right, so I ended up grinding a bunch, cleaning it up. Took a long time, and then I decided I'm gonna do the PVC on the side here. I just think it'll be, these are gonna get beat up like crazy, you know, and I just would rather it have a couple layers of glass over some heavy PVC. So I'm gonna glue that on right now. Thought I'd show you my little jig for cutting the PVC. I just got a little, just make sure I don't get no crazy kickback or anything like that, because you gotta take the riving knife off. Got it all set up. All right. All right, so now I got flipped over. I can't remember if I did that in the other video, figured out, but I got it pretty cleaned up. Okay, it looks pretty good. Looking pretty good, I'll tell you that. So I'm just starting to do the total fair now. Oh, I got these farmer protector sleeves. These are just wonderful now. The itch doesn't get me all the time now. But today I've got Yachting World on in the background. Wonderful show. And we're doing some fairing. And you'll notice that this is green, which is total fair, which is epoxy. So now I'm doing paint, not gel coat this time. So I'm going to fair everything out with total fair and do a paint over top of it. So the rails are real strong. This corner's I gotta address this corner, but otherwise everything is real strong. I've stood up on this no problem. I got it sitting on jack stands, and I was able to stand up here no problem. So I ended up getting a trowel because I just don't have, this was on sale, I don't have any really good long board for fairing, for scraping it on, or whatever you call it, for troweling it on. I don't have a long one, so I ended up getting this, and it's working okay. I have some good sanding to do, so I'm going to do that right now and get a second coat on. And then the top is going to have a solar panel on it most likely, so I'm you know, gonna finish this off and then put a panel on it. Great. I really need to focus on these sides where you're really gonna see it. But you know what? This came out, I mean, it's chop stranded on there, but man, this just needs probably a quick sand and fair, and I don't think it'll be too bad at all. So I have one kind of annoying spot, and it's on this. I knew this was gonna be annoying. It's right here. This all, you can see that this was a bunch of the extra core pieces I had left over, and then some filler, and it's just not very flat, this one. So this one will be kind of a pain. I had thought about maybe just doing the pillars here in carbon fiber. I just, you know, because why not? I may do that, but I just don't think I have time. Boat splashes in April 22nd. And the first is, it's Easter weekend, so I gotta hurry up. All right, I've not been filming a lot, but I got a lot done. I gotta get done by this weekend, so I got still more to do, but I've got, on the inside here, you can see I've got it painted. Looks pretty good. A little lumpy on the inside. I just didn't fair more than I needed to, and that's okay. The outside, I've got, I was getting pretty annoyed with pinholes, so I've actually been doing a epoxy top coat. May or may not work out in my favor, we'll find out. But I'm getting the windows ready to go, and I've got this huge piece of plexiglass here. Holy crap, this thing is heavy. Half inch is no joke, so should be strong, but man, adding a lot of weight. It's all right. So the whole back or top is faired and ready to be sanded one final time once this epoxy cures, and then I'll paint it all up. I'm actually adding some gold flakes to it as well, which is a fun little feature. And yeah, keep you updated. All right, so it's been a while. I've made some good progress, and I'm out of time. I've got to get everything fitted into place windows wise and finish painting the front in 2 days, so a lot to do here. But I did just finally finish the top with paint, so here I'll show you. And I added some gold flake to it. We are the alchemists, so that's pretty cool. I will say, and it looks wavier in the camera, but I will say it is very hard to fair this thing to get it completely smooth. I mean, even with fairing boards, and I fairing compounded like 3-4 times, and still it's got some waves in it. But you know, solar panel is going to be on it, so who cares? The inside, same thing. You know, without having a mold, you just have to fair so much, and that fairing compound is expensive. And I am, as Hagen says, I'm a DIY boater. So inside, same thing. I've got to do the rest now. I also cut all the thick acrylic. I need to clean up the edges with a straight edge, and experiment with the heat gun today and see what I can make it do. So that's my next step. Anyways, I'll continue to show progress and how it goes. All right, today is moving day. I've got my garage is never gonna be the same, but I decided to not move it with the windows in. They're just really heavy. They're gonna add, you know, almost probably 100 pounds to this project, and I just probably can't get it off the ground with my wife and I. So we're gonna move it with the windows out and put them in once it's in the boat. I didn't have the best luck trying to heat mold this stuff. There's a anti-scratch coating on this plexiglass, which is great. It means it won't scratch, but it also, whenever it bends, the plexiglass bends, but this anti-scratch coating breaks. which is not great. Thankfully, I don't have very many bends to do though. So I did, this piece of core is irregularly shaped. And so I put this extra piece of plastic on it, and this is upside down, so it's not doing a good job of showing what I'm trying to show, but there we go. So I put this piece of plastic on it, or a piece of plexiglass, and I heated it up and was able to clamp it into place, and it was able to stay in place without breaking. So what I think I'm going to do is when I get on the boat, I'm going to heat mold those in place. And then I've got carbon panels here, which I put in last night to tab into the boat. And then you can see the sun on the gold. Looks pretty cool. Pretty dusty, but looks pretty cool. Anyways, all right, we're gonna try to get this in the truck. All right, now to get it on the boat. We've got it with a halyard. We're using the mast and pulling her up. That's pretty much all there is to it. All right, and now it's in, baby. Look at that. Wow. Fits almost perfectly. Almost. This edge is lifted up. Edge is lifted up because I just added off by slightly a little bit, but that's okay. I'm gonna cover that anyways. Fits so good otherwise. Looks as nice as can be. Look at that bad boy. All right, well, just broke my little mount and sent this little GoPro flying, landed right on its lens. Hopefully there's no scratch. Back at the boatyard again today. So a dog house is installed. Now the big problem you might notice is there's a pretty big gap here, about a ½ an inch on each side. Now it's because this is supposed, right here, corner is supposed to butt up right against here, and that didn't happen because these edges, I put just a little too much fiberglass right here on this corner. You can see it bumps out. So I put a little too much fiberglass there, which sucks, but that's okay. We're going to, I've got a fix for it. So I'm just gonna end up filling these with sealant and just seal it off because I need it sealed anyways. I've already kind of done that practicing here with the 4200, which still isn't cured. It's not been 24 hours though, so that's probably why. But anyways, what I'm gonna do, and I was gonna do this anyway, so this works out really well. In order to bolt this to the coach roof, I was gonna take some carbon fiber here, and that's why I put these plates on, is I was going to mold, tab in carbon into here, and then put plastic down and mold it to the coach roof, and then drill through the coach roof and backing plate it, you know, so it's nice and bolted in there, because this is just glued on right now, and it's, you know, it's strong, but it's not that strong. You know, if we're rolling around, it's coming loose. So over here on this side, I've got it kind of set up. I've got a bunch of plastic down to protect the surface of the boat, and it comes off. And then I've got some carbon, and I've got it clamped up with a piece of wood to make it as flat as it can be. And in a little bit of time here, this will harden, and I will, hopefully it's not leaking anywhere, but it doesn't look to be, and I will pull it off and take it home and mold, and that'll be the mold for adding a bunch of carbon to it, and making some big time carbon brackets that will run the whole length of this pretty much, and should be very strong, and we'll bolt this thing through. The nice thing is that it fills that gap really well as well. Otherwise, looking great. All right, right, so we are in the water. And the top is doing great. The 4200 is really hard and is really on there. I'm able to stand on top, no problems at all. Now I'm working on the windows. So these on the sides here are it's not flat at all. So these are the toughest ones, I think. And so what I did was, shit, I see a spot where I fucked up. Well, I'll have to leave it and hopefully I can rub off that piece. Anyways, I clamped them in using these clamps, and I've used black 5200 to glue them in, and except for the middle, which is VHB tape. So I've got VHB tape in there, and then I'm clamped and glued them with 5200. Hopefully it's strong enough to hold these in there. I also used my heat gun to heat these up. I googled how hot acrylic would bend at, and it's 275 to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So I did my best to heat up. It's outside, they just cooled so fast, but I was able to heat up sections at a time, you know, like this section to 275, and so hopefully that was enough to kind of form them into shape, kind of relieve some pressure. We'll see. It may not have been. I'm not sure. We'll find out. So I did these two, and then the inside with 5200 as well. Boom, those two, and I got this one started, but I ran out, so I gotta wait for more. All right, so it is a frigid day, but I'm making good progress. I don't think I took video of this. I'll have to see when I edit, but I got a lot of the windows on, and they're very solid. Hopefully they stay. This one had actually popped out, and I had to put a bunch more glue in here. But yeah, had to clamp them on in interesting ways, and this is the most interesting by far, trying to get this front window on. I've had to clamp on the edges. This wood is under a lot of pressure, and even to get this side down I had to use a second clamp, but that's how I'm clamping it together. Letting the glue dry on all the windows. I have two more to put on, these two sides, and then I still gotta carbon this in and glue it together and be done. All right, today is takeoff day to Chicago, and I got the final windows clamped in. Look at these DIY clamps here. This one's even better. But you know what? Gets the job done. These are gonna stay in. See how